All right, so we are ready to divide fractions. We'll see if you guys remember what to do with those. So let's say that we had 1/2 divided by 3/4. Does anyone remember from last year what you do to divide? Ari?
Like to keep like the 1/2 the same, and then you change the divide to multiply, and then you flip 4/3.
Very good. So a lot of times teachers will use the phrase, I like same, but keep, I like using same, change, flip.
We do this in 5th grade.
Right, you probably learned in 5th grade. So again, I like same, change, flip. If you have a teacher that taught you keep, change, flip, same thing, all right, means the same thing. So you never really have to do the operation of division, okay? This is now just a multiplication problem like the ones that we've been practicing before our restroom break, which is nice. Can I cross reduce any in this problem? Yes. So my 2 and the 4 can both be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, 4 divided by 2 is 2, and now multiply straight across. 1 times 2, 1 times 3, and you are finished. Okay, so again, to divide fractions, you're not really dividing any of the numbers. You're changing it to a multiplication problem. Does anyone remember when you flip a fraction, and again, it's only the second fraction, only the second fraction. When you flip it, do you remember what that's called when you flip a fraction? It starts with an R.
Reciprocal.
Very good, reciprocal. Reciprocal. So a reciprocal is when you flip a fraction. And again, this is only the second fraction that gets flipped. You keep the first fraction the same. Sometimes I see people flip both of them, okay? All right, any questions about how to divide? We're gonna do some practice, but any questions about just the process? Okay, so let's do some practice with those. How about you try 5/8 divided by 3/4. So again, you are trying it. I'll start working it out up here. If you get stuck, you can look up here. All right, so your answer should be 5/6. So again, we kept 5/8 the same. We flipped 3/4 to make it 4/3. I kind of like using the arrows, like a straight arrow and then like a little loopy arrow. That might help you, or you might not need to use arrows at all. Your 8 and your 4 can be simplified. You can divide them both by 4. So then multiplying straight across, you get 5/6 and you're finished. Now, if you wouldn't have crossed reduced, you would have ended up with 20/24, okay? Which again, would simplify to 5/6. Any questions about that one? All right, let's do one that has a whole number in it. Let's say we had 4 divided by 1/3. Do you remember what we said that we did with a whole number? We put a 1 under it. Okay, so this 4 is going to become 4/1. My division becomes multiplication, and I flip my 1/3 to 3/1. Is there any cross reducing I can do here?
No.
No. So I can multiply straight across. 12/1, which equals 12. All right, any questions about that one? Now, some people get a little confused if the whole number is listed second, okay? Because they're putting it over 1 and they're also thinking about flipping it, and sometimes they miss the flipping step. So let's do some practice with one of those. 2/5 divided by 6. So I highly recommend, and you could do this just in the original problem. You can either rewrite it so you have 2/5 divided by 6 over 1, or some people feel comfortable enough just on their paper, they kind of do that, okay? But I would not try to just do it in your head, putting it over 1 and flipping it in your head, because again, I see a lot of mistakes made on these types of problems, okay? So when we rewrite this as a multiplication problem, we would end up with 2/5 times 1/6. Can I do any cross reducing? Yeah, my 2 and my 6 can both be divided by 2. So now when I multiply straight across, what's my final answer? 1/15. Good. And you're finished. All right, we feel okay with those? Okay, last thing then that we will practice would be dividing with mixed numbers. Dividing with mixed numbers. So let's write a problem. Let's say that we have 5 3/4 divided by 3 2/3. Now, these are the time-consuming problems, because first thing you have to do is change them both into improper fractions. Then you have to do same change flip. Then you have to multiply. And then you have to put it back into a mixed number. So it is time-consuming. So let's go ahead and first change these into improper fractions. So once again, you multiply and then you add. So what is this first improper fraction going to be? Excellent, 23/4. Now, I do not recommend doing 2 steps at a time. So I would leave this as a division problem for right now, and then we'll do same change flip once we figure out what 3 2/3 is, okay? Only if you're really, really good at fractions would I want you to do that, and even then I still see some mistakes. So this second mixed number, what is it going to be as a improper fraction? 11/3, right. Okay, so now that we have them as improper fractions, we want to change this into a multiplication problem. So same, change, flip. Is there any simplifying, cross-reducing that I can do here? No. So 23 and 11, they're both pretty big numbers, but we can't divide 23 and 11 both by anything. And 3 and 4, can't do anything with that either. So this would be a great one. I know we said that you could grab calculators if you had them, and I saw that on your Google Classroom, Miss Demeter put a Desmos calculator, so you can get to a calculator on there as well. But 23 times 3, those of you that either have a calculator or are pretty good with multiplying, what does that equal? 69. And then 4 times 11 is 44. Okay, this is improper. So we need to change this now into a mixed number. So if it's helpful to you, 69 divided by 44. How many times will 44 go into 69? 1 time. When we subtract, we get 25. So I know that's big numbers, but it's okay. Remember, if we subtract and our answer to our subtraction problem is smaller than what's out here, you're good. So our answer is 1 and 25/44. Any questions about what we did there? Okay, I'm gonna have us try one more, and then I'm gonna give you the rest of the time to work. All right, because this is, again, I know it's somewhat time consuming for people. So let's do 4 and 1/8 divided by 5 and 1/2. You try that one. Again, if you get stuck, I'll start doing it up here. All right, so 4 1/8, you should have changed it into 33 over 8, because that was 32 plus 1. And then 5 1/2, you should have changed it to 11 over 2. Then do your same change flip to 2 over 11. Lots of cross reducing that we can do. 33 and 11 can both be divided by 11. 8 and 2 can both be divided by 2. So when we multiply straight across, we end up with 3/4. If you didn't cross reduce, you would have ended up with 66 over 88, which is also 3/4. Okay? All right, so that is it. I want to give you the rest of the time to work.